Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. I bet Ron the car guy has something he wants to talk about this morning, and he's always bringing in interesting devices.
Questionable devices.
Is this how you siphon gas?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I can't wait to learn about that. But first,
People
Jason.
still do that? There's still a lot of gas siphoning going on.
You know, you would think with the increase in the price of gas, yeah, but I don't.
Because you heard about it.
I haven't heard about it. I mean, you still can.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't heard about it for a while. I think it's easier to go to the convenience store, fill up, and just drive off. Right?
That happens.
Yeah, rather than siphon it.
Not that we're condoning any of those actions.
But this would be a great tube if you didn't know. Okay. All right, Jason Parkin, what's happening with the weather?
I have to do that again? I've already told you like 4 times, don't you? Okay. Let's take a look at the headlines for today. It is going to be warmer out there. You might see an isolated storm in western Iowa this morning. We've seen all of one, maybe 1 or 2 more. That'll be it. Otherwise, we heat up in this forecast. We actually, believe it or not, have a decent chance of rain in the outlook for Thursday, and I'll get to that in just a second, but a little bit of hope out there. These are your temperatures, and they're obviously very warm for this early hour. Fort Dodge and Ames are at 70, Lamoni 65, Waterloo is at 67 degrees. As you look at the state radar picture, one little shower popped up out in western Iowa this morning. That has diminished. We might see 1 or 2 more of those, but the odds are pretty low, so count yourself lucky if you do. We'll give you a look at the radar loop out there, and again, Breda, Arcadia got a little bit of rain this morning in our viewing area, but otherwise things have kind of quieted down out in the western part of the state. Here's your day planner. Just plan for heat. 73 at 9, 83 at noon, and 90 by 3 o'clock today. So it is going to be a fairly steamy one, although the winds are going to pick up. We'll see wind gusts to around 20 miles per hour today. Here's your 7-day forecast that includes that Thursday rain chance, and a good one there. Otherwise, it's hot. Highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s.
Nice. So looking good out there. All right, Ron, thanks for coming in this morning. We're talking spare tires, but not the one that we got from the Iowa State Fair.
Correct. Not the corn dog spare tire.
Funnel cake.
Funnel cakes, yeah.
You know, we had talked a couple weeks ago, we had talked about the low tire light being on vehicles, and how on some cars the spare tire actually has a sensor. And since then, you know, people have been telling me their stories about how they go to change their spare tire and it's flat. Because nobody ever checks the spare or to see if there's air in there. That's actually something that should be done when you get your oil changed. I mean, the place that you're having service your car should be checking your spare tires. So, you know, my advice would be next time you take your car in for service, to ask them, hey, did you check my spare tire? I mean, because if they forget, you're the one that's going to be inconvenienced, not them. You know, when you go to put it on, it's flat.
What if your trunk is filled with a lot of stuff?
Still ask them to check it.
Okay.
You're still going to have a problem if it isn't there. I mean, that needs to be checked. But you know, then as people were talking about that, you know, it dawned on me that a lot of cars today don't have spare tires. And it's catching some people by surprise that their car doesn't have spare tires. And actually, in 2012, there was 54 models of cars sold in the United States that either did not come with a spare tire or the spare tire was an option. It's something you have to request when the car is ordered. AAA says that 1 out of 7 cars on the road today does not have a spare tire, and that isn't because they took it out and threw it away so they could put more stuff in the trunk. It just it didn't come with a spare tire. And so you just want to be aware of what's going on with your car. One thing I brought today, this one's actually out of a Chevrolet Volt.
Okay.
This is what you get instead of a spare tire. There is no spare tire in a Chevrolet Volt. And what it comes with, it's got a little compressor, and then this thing fits into the compressor. So if you have a spare tire, it hooks onto the valve stem of the tire, and the compressor pumps. There's liquid in here. The compressor pumps sealant.
So it's like Fix-A-Flat, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. It's supposed to be better than Fix-A-Flat. But you know, the problem with that is, let's say a tire blows out.
And it's just shredded.
Exactly. This isn't going to do you any
help.
good. No. And you don't have a spare to put on. So you better make sure you have roadside assistance or something like that. And and so anyway, but this is what you're getting instead of a spare tire. And I think over time we're going to see spare tires just eliminated from cars. And there's 3 popular reasons why. One, it reduces weight. The car weighs less. And we're pushing towards this higher fuel economy that's been mandated by the federal government. We got to put the car in a diet. Number two is the cars are getting a little smaller in the luggage area. There just isn't room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the big one is cost savings. If they don't have to put a tire on a wheel and a jack and those components, they're gonna save money on each car that they build.
Does that fix-a-flat stuff, is it difficult for you guys to deal with if someone comes in with a tire that's had this stuff in it?
It is, and there's first off, there's a safety concern depending on how long it's been in there, because we need to know that it's in there if people install that in a tire, because we put the wheel on a tire machine and we're using metal bars on a metal rim and stuff to remove the tire, and fix-a-flat's flammable. If you look at the back of the can, it's flammable, and we could create a spark trying to get the tire off, and there's something flammable inside of there.
Right.
And then once you get it out, now all that has to be cleaned out of the inside of the tire, and then we got to find the leak, and then we got to fix it, and then reinstall it back on the vehicle. But in a pinch, it works. It's just tell whoever's servicing the tire that you put something like that in there. This stuff is a little different. Actually, once this is pumped into the tire and it dries, or you've driven on it, it's supposed to form like a latex barrier in there. And in theory, we're supposed to be able to go in and just peel that out of the tire, just like peeling a banana or something like that. And again, that's in theory. It doesn't always work as designed.
A lot of things sound good in theory.
Exactly. But some of the cars, like I said, this is out of a Chevrolet Volt, and some of the more popular vehicles here, I had a little list that no longer have spare tires. The Chevrolet Camaro, the Cruze, and the Equinox.
Wow.
It's an option to get a spare tire. Mm-hmm. The Ford Explorer and Focus, it's an option to get a spare tire. Yeah. The GM Terrain is also an option. Cadillac CTS, SRX, and STS, it's an option. The Hyundai Accent, Elantra, and the Sonata Hybrid, you get sealer. Yeah, it's just not even an option. The Chevrolet Volt, you get sealer. I stole this out of Ted's car, so I hope it doesn't have a flat on the way in. And then the Audi, the Q7, the S4, it's optional, and the TT comes with sealant. And then, of course, other cars, Corvettes and stuff, come with a run-flat tire that's designed to drive on the tire. Once it's flat, you can go a certain number of miles at a certain speed. But even this, on here, it says the maximum speed's 55 miles an hour with this sealant in. So it's not a long-term fix. It's just made to get you by.
Now, the run-flat tires are expensive.
They are.
To buy a new one. So it sounds like a great deal, but then you got to go out and buy a new tire, right, usually?
Well, yes, because you're not supposed to repair a run-flat tire. So if you have a run-flat tire on a vehicle, it's flat for a reason,
right?
And then it's a replacement item. You don't repair those just because of the construction of them.
Yeah, let me ask you a really stupid question. It's 2013. Has anybody figured out a way to make a tire that doesn't have air in it and that can't blow out, or is it just?
And you can Google it. Michelin had a tire out, or a prototype out, and you can find it on YouTube. You can watch a video of it. But Michelin actually did make a tire that does not require air, and it almost looks like it's spoked. It's got these rubber spokes coming out, and but again, I think the technology's probably there. It's going to boil down to a cost situation,
right?
And you look again. There was, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but there was one year where the Honda Odyssey had an odd-sized tire, and it was a special tire for that vehicle, and they were extremely expensive. And when you went to replace them, you only had one option of this specialty type tire, and a lot of people would just buy a different set of wheels and put regular tires on.
Sure.
And you see that on the run flats too. People will come in and they don't want to spend the money for a run flat, and they'll put a non-run flat tire on. But you got to look at the handling characteristics. You don't want to change how the car brakes or corners and stuff by putting something that wasn't designed to be on there.
So if you're in the market for a new car, what's your advice?
Well, if it bothers you that you may or may not have a spare tire, ask.
Yeah.
Because it's unlikely the salesman's gonna pipe up and say, hey, this doesn't have a spare tire. But if that's an issue for you, yeah, I would just ask, can you show me where the spare tire is? Does it have a spare tire? And if it's got a pump and some sealant in it, then I mean, that's what it has. But again, I would make sure, you know, that you either have some kind of roadside assistance or AAA, because, and think about the convenience factor. I mean, let's say it's a Sunday and you're in Kansas City and a tire blows out.
Uh-oh. You're there for a while.
Exactly.
Get a hotel.
You already have AAA in your phone, like you've taught us before.
There you go. There you go.
It's to help you out. All right. Thank you, Ron, so much.
You're welcome.
So in a quick fix, you can handle one of these guys. Otherwise, where can they find you if they really have questions?
Oh, they can find me at westsideautopros.com, or you can go to askronthecarguy.com and email questions to me through there. I answer them all.
Perfect. All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks
Thank
again
you,
for
Ron.
coming
Thanks.
in and letting us know what's going on. We'll be right back.